Get ready to meet your new favorite starter or main or snack. These irresistible bacon wrapped meatballs are juicy, cheesy, and loaded with flavor in every bite. It's also a great recipe for batch cooking. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Severine, and on this channel, I share my favorite keto carnivore recipes because I believe eating an animal-based diet can be simple, delicious, and so satisfying. But for now, let's dive in and make these mouth-watering meatballs that are guaranteed to disappear in minutes. Ingredient overview. This recipe uses 2 pounds of meat to make about 21 meatballs, which is just enough for the 3 of us at home to have some dinner. And then I freeze the extra to have a stash ready for another time. So we need 2 pounds of ground beef, which is about 900 grams. I use beef because, let's be honest, I prefer beef. But you can also use pork or lamb or even a combination of meats. 21 slices of bacon because I usually use 1 slice per meatball, cut in half. 4 eggs, ideally organic. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Optional, half a cup of grated Parmesan because I like it when it's cheesy. And also optional, 2 tablespoons of herbs of your choice. I'm adding dry herbs for more flavors, but also for their health benefits. You can also add 2 tablespoons of garlic powder and 2 teaspoons of onion powder. In a large mixing bowl, add in your ground beef and all the ingredients except the bacon. Mix well until all seasonings and eggs are mixed well into the ground beef. I'm using gloves because I don't like touching raw meats, let alone mixing it. When buying gloves for the kitchen, my tip is to use non-powdered gloves because we don't want powder in our food. Once all is well mixed together, we're going to form the meatballs of the same volume or weight, just to make sure that they cook evenly. So use a cookie or an ice cream scoop to scoop the ground beef mixture. And with your hands, form a ball shape and set aside until all the meatballs are done. Personally, I use an ice cream scoop and a kitchen scale. That's because I use a kitchen scale whenever I can. That must be my French heritage. So my meatballs are about 50 grams each, which is about 1.7 ounces. Then I take half a slice of bacon and wrap around the meatball. I take the other half of the bacon and wrap it the other way so that the meatball is almost covered in bacon. I make sure to stretch the bacon so that it joins at the same place underneath, and I can now place down the meatball on a tray. And I do all my meatballs the same way, which actually takes less time than you would expect. Next, we've got 2 choices. Either we cook them or we freeze them. I usually cook a third of the meatballs and freeze the rest. For cooking, I use an air fryer because it's fast, and for me, it's the best cooking. I preheat at 200 Celsius, which is 400 Fahrenheit. Then I make sure I set the side face down where the 2 ends of the bacon meet to help secure it down better while cooking. I also make sure there is space around the meatballs so that the air can evenly go around and they are cooked well. And this means that also I don't need to turn them. For me, the cooking time is about 10 to 15 minutes, but I always check, and we all should always check that they are cooked well. It is all the most important for ground meat. And if you don't have an air fryer, no problem. You can always bake them in an oven. Personally, I haven't done it yet. What I would do is preheat the oven to 200 Celsius, which is about 400 Fahrenheit, and cook them for about 20 to 30 minutes. I tend to almost double my air frying time whenever I have to use the oven, freezing the rest. Here is what I do when I freeze my meatballs for a bit of batch cooking. First, I always make sure there is space in my freezer, or I make space. I forgot this step one day and it was a total disaster. Choose a tray or baking sheet that is small enough to go in your freezer and lay a sheet of parchment paper on it. Then arrange the meatball on the parchment paper, leaving space between each of them so that when they're frozen, we can easily remove them. Place the tray in the freezer for about 5 to 6 hours. Once frozen, transfer the meatball into a bag. I personally use a vacuum sealer to remove the air. And then seal and freeze. Your meatballs are now prepped and ready to cook anytime. Just remove them from the bag and pop them in your air fryer or oven, adding an extra 5 to 10 minutes to the usual cooking time. Again, always make sure they're sufficiently cooked. That's it for today, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed making these irresistible bacon wrapped meatballs. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell for more tasty carnivore recipes. Thank you so much for joining me in the kitchen today and see you next week. Bye for now.